In the heart of Beijing, where the skyline is punctuated by glimmering skyscrapers and the air is thick with ambition, a storm was brewing among the elite. The recent actions of Donald Trump, the unpredictable former president of the United States, had sent shockwaves rippling through the intricate web of alliances that defined China's billionaire circle. For years, this group had thrived in a climate of relative stability, their fortunes intertwined with the policies of both the Chinese government and global markets. However, as Trump's rhetoric escalated and his policies shifted, the very foundations of their power began to tremble. Wang Jianlin, the towering figure of Dalian Wanda Group, stood at the center of this upheaval. Once a symbol of China's meteoric rise in global business, Wang had cultivated relationships with Western leaders, positioning himself as a bridge between East and West. His investments in Hollywood and real estate in major cities around the globe were testaments to his ambition. Yet, as Trump's administration took a more aggressive stance on trade and foreign investments, Wang found himself in a precarious position. The very alliances he had nurtured now felt fragile, like a house of cards ready to collapse at the slightest tremor. In the boardrooms of his empire, Wang convened an emergency meeting with his closest advisors. The atmosphere was thick with tension, and the air crackled with uncertainty. His advisors, a mix of seasoned executives and young, ambitious entrepreneurs, exchanged worried glances. They had always been able to navigate the complexities of international business, but Trump's erratic policies were a new beast entirely. One advisor suggested a low-profile approach, urging Wang to retreat from the limelight and avoid drawing attention. Another, more aggressive in nature, proposed an extensive lobbying campaign aimed at Washington, believing that if they could sway key figures in the Trump administration, they could safeguard their interests. As the debate raged on, Wang's mind drifted to the broader implications for his peers in the billionaire circle. He thought of Jack Ma, the enigmatic founder of Alibaba, who had faced his own trials with the government's tightening grip on tech giants. Or the real estate mogul Zhang Xin, whose empire had flourished amid the urban expansion, now facing scrutiny as foreign investments dwindled. Each of them was grappling with the same specter of uncertainty, feeling the weight of external forces that could dismantle their carefully constructed legacies. Meanwhile, in a lavish penthouse overlooking the Forbidden City, another billionaire was contemplating the shifting tides. Liu Qiangdong, the founder of JD.com, had always been a master of adaptation. He thrived on the edge, navigating the complexities of e-commerce in a rapidly changing landscape. Yet, he could not shake the feeling that the ground was shifting beneath him. Trump's unpredictable behavior had ignited a wave of nationalism and protectionism that threatened to upend the very markets they relied upon. Liu knew that he had to act, but how? Should he align himself with Wang and the others in a united front, or should he carve out his own path, leveraging his connections in the tech sector to insulate himself from Trump's volatility? As the days turned into weeks, the public confrontation between Wang Jianlin and the Trump administration came to a head. During a high-profile conference in New York, Wang took to the stage, exuding confidence. His speech, initially intended to promote cross-border investments, quickly morphed into a pointed critique of the rising tide of protectionism. He spoke passionately about the need for collaboration and mutual respect, his voice steady despite the tension that crackled in the air. But as he concluded, the response from the Trump administration was swift and unforgiving. A spokesperson dismissed Wang's remarks as self-serving, a desperate plea from a billionaire trying to protect his interests at the expense of American workers. The fallout was immediate and profound. Wang's public image, once untouchable, now faced scrutiny. Social media erupted with criticism, and the narrative shifted from one of success to vulnerability. The other billionaires watched with bated breath, realizing that if even Wang could be publicly undermined, none of them were safe. The intricate relationships that had long defined their circle began to fray. Some chose to distance themselves from Wang, fearing that association could lead to backlash. Others rallied around him, seeing an opportunity to unite against a common adversary. In the weeks that followed, the billionaire circle splintered into factions. Some, like Liu Qiangdong, opted for a quieter approach, focusing on domestic expansion and minimizing exposure to international markets. Others, like the ambitious Zhang Xin, doubled down on lobbying efforts, seeking to influence policy from the shadows. The tension was palpable, as each billionaire navigated their own path through the chaos, trying to decipher the unpredictable moves of an administration that seemed to thrive on upheaval. As the months wore on, the implications of Trump's actions became clearer. The sense of uncertainty that had gripped the elite was not merely a passing phase. It was a harbinger of a new era where fortunes could be lost in an instant. The dynamics of power were shifting, and the once unassailable positions of China's billionaires were now under threat. They were forced to confront a reality where external forces, particularly those from the West, could destabilize their carefully constructed empires. In this high-stakes environment, the billionaires of China found themselves at a crossroads. Some would emerge stronger, adapting to the new landscape and finding ways to thrive amid adversity. Others would falter, unable to withstand the pressure of a world that seemed increasingly hostile to their ambitions. As they navigated this tumultuous landscape shaped by international politics and economic maneuvering, one thing became clear. The future of China's elite was no longer guaranteed, and the intricate web of relationships that had long defined their circle was now a fragile tapestry, susceptible to the unpredictable winds of change.